What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Steelers Breakdown. Nick Faribault here, as always, and we are talking today Colts and Steelers. And let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, an interesting team that the Steelers really haven't seen stylistically. Now, they're not going to be the Colts that you would see on paper. I think on paper, from week one, that's actually a pretty solid football team because you look at the front, it's a good front. They have a nice group of linebackers. The corners at least have upside, but folks, this is a banged up group, to say the least. And so they're going to be missing DeForest Buckner. Kwity Paye's out. Samson Ebukam's out. Taekwon Lewis might be out. And so your starting edges might be Laiatu Latu and Deo Odeyingbo, who, I mean, for your third and fourth edges, I mean, not a bad, not a bad crew to have if you needed that. Latu is definitely crafty, and Odeyingbo is pretty explosive and has a good power rusher. Latu can do a little bit of everything. He's a fun player to watch. He and Broderick Jones will be a matchup to watch for sure. But their interior line, Taven Bryan is really a three tech that's playing nose for them. Grover Stewart's a really good run defender, but it leaves a lot to be desired right now because of their injuries. And so is their secondary. Now I like guys like Nick Cross and I like Julian Blackman back there. But you look at the corner room, no Kenny Moore, no Juju Brents. It is tough to see a great defensive backfield here. Now, Cross has been playing at a great level. I really like Julian Blackman as well. But they're starting corners this week are going to be Jalen Jones, who had a good week last week against the Bears, Sam Womack, and Chris Lamons. I mean, that is not a good starting crew. So this really should be the week that Steelers technically hit that run game, right? We have talked about this. And so that's certainly something to think about. We have been talking about the run game getting going. The Colts through 2 weeks had given up the most rushing yards through two games since the 1978 Colts. That's not a Colts stat, that's an NFL stat. And so yeah, that is kind of crazy to think about when you look at the Steelers and where things go on the ground. This could be the week that the run game pops with the quarterback run game. Malik Willis had a lot of success. And so, yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, are a really solid group uh, up front for this type of style, right? Because you need that QB run game. The zone runs have really hit the Colts. It hasn't been gap runs as much as it's been zone runs. And so the Steelers' scheme, theoretically, in theory, is the exact type of run scheme that has torched Indianapolis. And so, yeah, like we'll see if that ends up coming to fruition, but this should be the week they get the ground game going. Now, I am a little bit concerned um, about some of the ball hawk nature of the Colts DBs. Jalen Jones and Cross and Blackman are all really good players with great ball skills. So that's definitely something to worry about if you are the Steelers here. And Zaire Franklin is just a huge problem in the run game, even still. Frazier is going to have to get in front of them. This is a big week for Mason McCormick. Again, Sayamalu is listed as doubtful. Let's see what Mason McCormick has. He's going to start at left guard. His athleticism really pops. Can he go out and get that front side backer, that backside backer, which is obviously a lot of the time going to be Zaire Franklin, but even EJ Speed is playing at a really high level for them. I think they have three of the top five tacklers in the NFL coming into this week. And that just shows a lot of how active these guys have been. It's really been Franklin, Speed, Cross that have been super active in the run game. And like they have just struggled against the run because they have a lot of big explosives. You look at the rushing success rate allowed, they're 20th. Like it's not nearly as bad. It's not, their raw percentage totals are 30th, 31st, 32nd. Like all of them are down low. But then you look, success rate. You look at EP play, they're like 20th, 21st. They're not, they're not the bottom of the league, but they are bottom half of the league. And they allow a lot of explosive runs. They've allowed the third most explosive runs in the NFL this year, which is 10 or more yards. So Steelers should have a chance here against this team. Really banged up group. So yeah. And I think George Pickens should also have a chance here to make some big plays down the football field. So if those things go well, Steelers should be able to control this time of possession. Now, here's the issue that the Steelers could run into in this Is for any week. It's not just a Colts specific week. Steelers have the second most third down attempts in the NFL. They've done a great job on third down, but what if they don't convert those? That 3 weeks is a small sample size. We can't really say the Steelers are an elite third down team yet. I think they're seventh in conversion rate right now, and that's been a big part of sustaining drives. But one, can maybe they get out in front of the sticks, not have as many third down opportunities, and two, if they don't convert those, can the defense hold up playing more? So the other thing now, as we switch to the other side, is when you look at time of possession, the Colts are the worst team in time of possession, and that's obviously been a big part of the Steelers has been grind it out, sustain drives, hammer to nail, continue to go at them. And a lot of that has been because their third down conversions have been successful over a lot of these drives. And they've been able to take 7, 8 minutes off the clock sometimes in first halves with some of these touchdown drives. I think 7:30 off the clock on the touchdown first half touchdown drive against the Chargers. So it's going to be kind of can they keep that going? But the Colts, man, their offense is designed similar to the Steelers. They are built around their O line. They are built around Jonathan Taylor. Taylor is awesome. You look at his tape, and he just has great vision. He's great patience. He's got burst. He can break tackles. He can do a little bit of everything. When you think you have him bottled up, no, you don't. He hits third holes. Like that doesn't happen very often, but he has some Le'Veon Bell like patience at times, and he can do that because he has a great O line in front of him. Now, here's the thing: the Steelers' defensive line has been an absolute hoss unit. The Falcons' O line's a solid group. They've destroyed them. The Broncos group, not great. They destroyed them proper. That Chargers group should be pretty solid. Of course, Slater and Alt got banged up, but just domination up front all game. Didn't matter. And so the Steelers theoretically should be able to go toe to toe with anybody. But then you look from, left to right, it goes Bernard Raymond, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Braden Smith. That's a really good group. And so the Steelers are going to have, I think this is the best offensive line they face this year. If they all play, we'll see Smith and Kelly are going to be listed as questionable with knee and neck injuries, respectively. If they don't play, Steelers are going to have mismatches. Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt on that side. If Smith does not go, those will be huge mismatches in the Steelers' favor, and they'll probably be able to get pressure on Anthony Richardson and be able to do a lot of different things. But we're going to see how Nick Herbig comes up here. Raymond's a really good player. He's a really nasty run blocker. And we'll see what Cam Hayward can do against Quentin Nelson, Benton against Kelly. Like, man, these are primetime viewing appointments. I think whoever wins in the trenches has a real chance to win this game. Because, listen, if they put this on the back of Anthony Richardson, we have seen him throw really bad passes. He has a better completion percentage on passes that go 20 or more yards than he does behind the line of scrimmage. He is erratic. His 49.3% completion percentage tells the story. Sometimes, the context isn't necessary there. The context with Anthony Richardson is that he has been scattershot. He has overthrown targets, and it's not like they haven't had open targets. They have. It's a really good receiving group too. I really like what they have here between Pittman, Pierce, Downs, Mitchell. It's a really deep group. So Steelers DBs are going to have to be ready. And I think the thing that does concern me with this Colts offense against the Steelers defense is the Steelers can put up points, right? And they can play this ball possession game and they can even be up 10 plus points. This Colts group is super explosive. Second highest explosive play rate in the NFL coming into this one. So the Steelers haven't faced an offense this explosive, and that's Anthony Richardson. He is the feast or famine quarterback of the day. And unlike a lot of young quarterbacks right now who are either feast only or famine only, right? We've seen, guys like Bo Nix really struggle. But you've seen guys like Jaden Daniels play very well, or CJ Stroud last year just light the world on fire. Richardson's the true both worlds of it. He makes very crazy, dumb interceptions, and then he just makes insane throws that gets you these explosive plays. And Jonathan Taylor also hits explosive runs. And so this explosive play rate could come back and be a significant factor in this game for the Steelers because they could even be up, 21-10, and in one play, 85-yard touchdown is gonna bounce that out. And we've seen the Colts be able to do that offense. Their explosive plays have been basically the lifeblood of the offense. They've had a really sustained run game, but Anthony Richardson hasn't necessarily been able to maintain that because he's made bad throws. has been able to convert on third down. They've had to punt a lot or kick field goals, et cetera, et cetera. So they haven't had the sustained drives really going. And so that's not really their style. Their style is either hit the explosive play, um, or turnover or whatever. So there's good and bad to this offense, but really I'm interested to see if the Steelers, if this whole offensive line plays can rise to the challenge there. Richardson can go on a heater or be completely terrible. You don't know which Anthony Richardson's going to show up on any drive. And so he's a really volatile player. The Steelers should probably feel good about this game. I think they should. But there is definitely a path to losing this game. We talked about the explosive plays. If Taylor is able to use his patience and get some run lanes going, if the Steelers' run game just can't find anything to go, right? The Steelers have done a really nice job of taking care of the football, but the ball hawks in the back end, if they get a turnover or two, like there are ways for the Steelers to lose this game. It's not a team devoid of talent. They definitely have offensive mismatches that they can exploit, and they're going to be confident in Taylor to run the ball. I think they're going to challenge the Steelers' defensive line. We'll see. I think the Steelers' defensive line is up to the challenge, but it's going to be a really fun matchup to watch. So yeah, if you're predicting this game, I'd predict the Steelers to win this one. I think if there's a week the run game should pop finally, it should be this one. They have the matchup, they have the scheme. It's already there. It's already made for them to really pop. And you also should see George Pickens theoretically have enough too, because they're going to play a lot of single high. Gus Bradley runs a ton of cover three, single high stuff. Maybe they come up more in cover two this week and try and stop the Steelers run game that way. I don't think that'll go well for them. But maybe they try to do that and take away Pickens. We will see, but I think the Steelers match up pretty well with all the injuries considered. I am just waiting for that O line D line matchup on Colts side, Colts O versus Steelers D. I think that'll be really fun to watch. So we will see what ends up happening. But that's just kind of a little preview here of what the Colts do. Shane Steichen's a really analytically minded coach. They'll be aggressive and go for it on fourth down when they can. He's a really solid head coach. He's really smart. Puts his players in position to succeed. So it's going to be a really fun matchup to me watching this one. I think it's a different type of test for the Steelers. I think they face better teams, given the state of the Colts right now. But it's not just a completely stylistically different matchup than any of the three teams they faced before. So should be a really fun one in Indianapolis on Sunday, and I will be there. So make sure to check out the content we have coming between now and then. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more. If you were listening to this on a podcasting platform, make sure to leave a review. Be back this weekend.